Hi there guys, and welcome to another episode of the Cover Zero Show with me, your host Simon Conboy. Continuing on with my draft preview series today, this episode will be focusing on the New York Football Giants. So if you've not seen one of these before, what I'll be doing is giving you my first round mock pick for the team, discussing what the team's major needs are after free agency and leading into the draft, and then going through the first 3 rounds worth of picks, offering up suggestions for what players may be taken in order to attack those needs. So coming out of free agency for the Giants, I had them listed as needing offensive tackle help, although that probably also extends to guard, but if they can fix the tackle spot, I think they're okay at guard. Linebacker and running back. Now that has not changed. Linebacker seems like it's been a need forever in New York. It's pretty clear Jerry Reese doesn't put a huge stock in that position, and running back has also been a need for a little while now. So in the first round in the mock, I have the Giants selecting Garrett Bowles, the offensive tackle out of Utah. Whilst I don't think it's a great tackle group, I do think some of these guys are going to be pushed up into the first round. Bowles and Ramczyk are 2 examples. Not necessarily sure they're first round talents in some previous years, but there is a lot of teams in need of an offensive tackle. I think the Giants would be happy to get either of those players. In my mock, I've got Ramczyk going ahead of Bowles. I think either one would feel like a win for the team. Cam Robinson as well, if he was to fall to them, although I think really they want to get a more natural left tackle so they can move Flowers across to the right hand side at this point. He's not shown enough to make anyone believe he can be a blindside protector in New York. Other possibilities in the first round, they could take Forrest Lamp. I think he's quite a highly rated and regarded player. He looks good on tape to me. I think he's going to be a solid pro. I'm not sure he gets to them. If he does, he could certainly be a consideration. One of the linebackers, Jared Davis, I can't see Reuben Foster falling that far. Hassan Reddick, they wouldn't necessarily be bad picks. And potentially, if one of the big 3 running backs falls to them, McCaffrey, I mean, there's no chance Fournette is there, and I really don't think Cook will be either. It's possible that McCaffrey falls to them. If so, possibly they look into selecting him. They definitely need to find a runner at some point in this draft. It's tough to think they could go into the season with just Paul Perkins. In the second and third, I expect the linebacker and running back spots to be the ones that were attacked. I'm not sure there's going to be, they need a tackle that can come in and start, and I'm not sure there's necessarily going to be someone there. If so, they could look at a guy like David Sharp or Taylor Moton. I'm not sure whether those two would be able to start, particularly on the blind side. In terms of some of the linebackers, Duke Riley I think would make a lot of sense. He may be available for them in the third. If they like him, to be sure they'd have to grab him in the second. I'm sure he'll be available for them there. They could possibly look into Raekwon McMillan, the Ohio State linebacker. Again, may not be there for them in round 3. May have to go for him in round 2. Blair Brown, he's another option. In terms of the running backs, I've given these names out a lot. It just seems to me that I have, but I think that's just a lot of the teams in the NFC North and East divisions I've covered so far need running backs. So again, Joe Mixon, I don't know where he ends up. He's one of the wild cards in this draft due to the off the field issues. We could potentially see, there's no way Alvin Kamara falls to them in round 2, so there's not really too much point suggesting that. I think he's really good. I think he goes in round 1 personally. So I don't know, there's the kid from Texas. He could be a fit. Give him a bit of a power back. Deonta Foreman, he'd make sense. Mac, he'd make a degree of sense. Benny Logan. There's a lot of backs in this draft. I think they probably wait on round 3. I would suggest one of those backers for them in round 2 will absolutely likely end up being the case, whether it's McMillan, Riley or Blair Brown. Then in round 3, I'd look for him to target basically whichever of those running backs is potentially available for them. Marlon Mack, that's the one. I could see any of these guys being considered at that point. Now, if of course Mixon would be the best option in terms of an impact player next year that could go on to be a true feature back of a very high standard. I'm not sure whether they'd want to take the risk on him, but it will certainly be interesting. This is the kind of team that I think could maybe roll the dice on him, because the need is there, and offensively, if they can get a really good back and get that O-line fixed, and Eli can figure out what went wrong last year, then they could look very good on offense. It's a very good receiving group that they've got there now with the Brandon Marshall addition. So what do you guys think? Actually, Dion Dawkins, that's another player. I could see potentially the Giants going for a guard, and I think he might be there for them in round 2. Although I've got him going in the first in my mock. It wouldn't shock me if he was available in round 2 either. Although I do think Lyman will be overdrafted as always. So what do you guys think? Do you agree, disagree with any of the needs that I've attributed to the Giants? Are there any other players you have your eye on and would like to see them consider in these early rounds? Let me know, whether it's in the comment section below, through the Cover Zero Facebook page, or if you find me at Simon Conboy on Twitter. I'll do my best to get back to absolutely everybody. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you've enjoyed it, please check out some more of them. I've done free agency reviews. I did a franchise and draft review series covering the last decade's worth of drafts. I think that was an informative and interesting series personally. Check those out, and don't forget to like, share, subscribe, check out the Patreon, all that good stuff. It'll be thoroughly appreciated. Thank you for your time. Pleasure as always, and go Bucks.